And we're rolling.
Ready, let's roll.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Greetings, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the Jazz Lovers Television Network. Today we have a special show. We have our special invited guest, Makakuvu Ali El-bey. We have other special guest, Tonya Grey-Thomas. And we have the illustrious, wonderful, and beautiful Vanessa Henderson, who is our main showcase today. We're gonna jump right into the show. It's a great show today we have for you. So I'm looking forward to it because I ain't never seen the show before. So I'm ready for you guys. I'd like to pass it to my co-host, Makakuvu Ali El-bey, for him to give us a few words before we get started.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Amara. Y'all see my hat, right? Say Jazz Africa Heritage. And the Jazz Lovers Television Network, we want to welcome you so that you can begin to understand, absorb the reality of what this television network is. First, let me say thank you to our guests, the illustrious Tonya Grey-Thomas. And I'm gonna tell you why she's illustrious, because I helped raise that girl. Known her all her life, and she's got some stuff that Van's doing this show. And Van did the show. The first show Van and I did was that the theater in the square with Raul Thomas. If I was in the room, he gonna say some words. And Phil G, he was on camera over that theater in the square. And I told Van, I said, yo, Van, I'm doing the jazz show at the square. And you come in the room, I'm gonna put you on the mic.
Oh God.
So here she come, and she come. So now I see in the audience. I ain't put 6 people in the audience, so it wasn't hard finding everybody. We taped it anyway. Everything we do, we gonna tape. So anyway, yeah. I get on the stage and we're talking, and I'm gonna let her tell you.
So I think the most interesting thing about it, Makakuvu, is that you invited me, but you didn't say that I was the host. And so I said, okay, well, our people, we always late. So I'll just go late and I'll be on time. And so I got there and everybody was waiting on me to be there. And I was like, okay, Makakuvu, you never said that I was the person that you all were waiting for. So I immediately just got up and I said, scripture said, be ye also ready and let's get the show started. So I just went up and started the show, but it actually turned out amazing. And I'm just so glad that you have given us the opportunity to actually be a part of this journey that you've been placed on, because we are on a journey as well. And in this life, we just have to always be ready for whatever it is that's being asked of us. And so, I'm just thankful to have met you, and thank you for just continuing to reach out to us so that we can be a part of what it is that you're doing.
And I thank you for that sentiment. Raul, and I met Raul. Charlene said, "Yo, man, there's a brother that has a playhouse in Marietta." So I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool. Let me, She said, "Well, let's go see." So I go see, and I get over there, and I meet this brother, and come to find out he from New York too.
Oh, okay.
He got the New York flavor. And that's Raul Thomas. Raul, come on and say something to us, please.
Good morning. Okay, so brother, you are a man of vision. You are a man of definitely a wisdom, and I appreciate you. I love your drive. I love your vision. When anybody can get me on a Zoom on a Sunday morning when the wife is away, it's because he's loved. Because right now I should be under my covers recuperating from yesterday. But it's all about brotherhood. It's all about us doing what we do. One of the things that I adore, that I love the most about you, is that we have the same background. We have the same blood. We have the same drive. I was born in Puerto Rico, but raised in the Bronx, and the Bronx blood is in me. But with that said, I love Georgia, and I love what I'm doing here. We definitely have been trendsetters. My son, my Afro-Latino son, Emil, and I opened up the first minority-owned theater in Marietta, where they used to lynch us across the street over 25 years ago. And we have definitely broken ground. We have made some waves, and we have stood for what we were and what we are today. And that's a cultural company that will not bend or will not give any other culture the right to tell us what to do, if that makes sense. And when I say that, I mean we're diverse in every way, and we do a little bit of everything, but we lean towards the urban life. And that's where you came into play. Remember you walking in one day and I said, "Who's this big old dude, this big old stick over here trying to get my attention?" But you know what? He looked like he's somebody I got to give him a minute. And it was just a blessing to meet you and to know that that you're definitely driven by vision. And that just means that you're God sent. That means that you believe in God. That means that you're a man of wisdom, because the only way you can have drive and not see foresight is by believing in something. and having that kind of that essence in you. So I appreciate your friendship, I appreciate your relationship, I appreciate your vision. And although you only had 6 people at the theater at your first drive, I know that there's a lot of more believers out there, and we'll make it happen one day a lot bigger. And that's why I've stayed a believer of you, and I believe that you are definitely destined to succeed and to be something of greatness. You've already had that in your life, and you just continue to seed that, as I do. We're trendsetters. We keep to seed. So it may not be in our lifetime, but somebody will see what we've done, and they will continue our vision. And with that, although COVID has taken the theater to a place of just visual, it just shows you how God works. I've had the platform for years, and now it's a calling for it, right? So everything happens for a reason. And I look forward to the things that you talked to me about today, and the things that are happening in your life, and know that you have a brother here. You all have a brother here.
The line of the new dawn. I thank you. What Raul just said is that all of us are legacy builders. And the legacy of the construct of myology, our story, I say myology as opposed to say Black, his story. That's 3 words, because his story is 2 words. When you add Black at the front of it, now you got 3 words. So Black history ain't never made no sense to me, because it always begins invariably with our enslavement. It don't go back. It begins there. So that's Black, his story. His story and my story are different.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Are very different. And that is our legacy. So what I'm saying is that all of us here are legacy builders. And the foundation of that legacy is, as he said, our culture. See, Black, his story, the 3-word lie, because people can lie in many words. That's a 3-word lie. His story is a 2-word lie. My story is not a lie. It is the chronology of our path. So you can make your path whatever you want to make it. But if it's not rooted in culture, see, people have a misconcept about economy. Because folks will tell you, well, the Black culture in the United States. Well, the Black culture in the United States is a pseudo-culture. Culture is based upon ethnic identity and cultural characteristics. So if history and Black history begins with our enslavement, and slave was the ancestor, slave is the term they use to describe the ancestor of the African American. And if slave is not an ethnic group, slave is not an identity, slave has no cultural characteristics, then African American has no cultural characteristics. It's a pseudo culture. So the culture that is driven at the theater in the square, I'm still talking about Raul, I'm sorry.
Preach on, brother, preach it on.
The culture at the basis of the theater in the square is a cultural icon and a bastion of racism. You heard him say they was hanging up 25 years ago across the street.
Yep.
So that's a bastion of racism. So
sorry to interrupt you, but it's fun. I have to add to that not only did they hang us across the street, but they enslaved our minds throughout that whole area to try to make it a point where this was only for whites. And when I moved in, my very first phone call, I don't know if I ever told you this, I picked up the phone and it said, "Nigga, get out."
Whoa.
And my second phone call was, "You won't be there 3 days." And those are the first 2 phone calls that I got in that place when I first opened that place up. I had people telling me, you won't be here 6 months. I had people telling me, what are you doing here? What do you know about our neighborhood? I mean, and this is now just 6 years ago. Okay. So although 25 years ago, they were hanging us off the trees over in the park, just 6 years ago, that same thought process was still very much alive, because the entitlement of the white man was that a black man or a man of color should not own or have the same as they do. 6 years fast forward, we're still there, we're still vibrant, we're still strong, with no benefits from anything, no government, no nothing, no grants, no COVID did nothing for us, and we are still strong because we have a different vision. And our vision is that we're a community of minorities that stand strong, and God will always provide.
Vanessa, I know you gotta chime in here, because that's where you and I did our first production.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, when I hear Raul talk about it, I've been here 20 years as well, and I came from North Carolina, and I really came to a place where we are told that this is the Black Mecca here in Atlanta, but we may have the mindset of that, but that is to agree not truly what is going on here. Only a few of us are thriving in what we call the Black Mecca here.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of us are still enslaved. We're in prison cells and we don't know we're in there, and they don't have any doors and no keys. So we have made ourselves be a part of something that God has not set out for us to do. So we have to understand that we have to be able to step outside of what it is that we see, because it is a mental space that we place ourselves in. I was speaking the other day and I said, you know, wilderness is in the mind. So we can be actively doing things, but we are in a wilderness space and just walking around, running around, and nothing is really happening with us. And at 62, I'm beginning to, you know, understand that even the more people have talked about 2020 and we want 2020 to be over. But, you know, when I met Makakuvu, it was like he was somebody that spoke to another part of me, to that person that was on a journey that didn't really know that she was on the journey. I turned 60, and being a Black female, it was when I really realized that I had a voice. And I was told a lot of times that, oh, you always have had a voice. No, you really don't. We think that as women, we have a voice, but it took me being 60 years old and having gone through life of being married, divorced, raising kids, and, you know, working on these jobs that are not our jobs, and giving them that 110, 120, 25 every day, and really not gaining anything from it, to realize that, you know what, I am my own person, and I make my own life, doing my own journey, bringing to the earth what it is that God has placed in me. So I realized that I have a voice, and thus Makakuvu said, oh, he loved that. He said, so thus the Van Miller Talk Show, I have found my voice. COVID has been nothing other than just amazing for me. I've accomplished a lot of things this year. I've always worked on the backside of the industry, but COVID has put me in the forefront, in front of a lot of things. And I'm sure that the rest of 2020 is going to be even greater. 2021, I'm so looking forward to what it is that God has planned for me and the journey that He has me on. And we learn, I've lost a lot in 2020. I lost my father in April. I lost my sister July 3rd. But, to whom much is given, much is required. And we have to understand that when things are taken away from us, that is to be so that He can replace with other things. So, we all come here to live, to die, and to move on to a better place. So just having the understanding of that and listening to all the things that Makakuvu talks about, it just is mind-blowing sometimes. I'm just like, okay, with this man, you just got to always be ready, because he's, oh, I need you to come and do this. And I'm like, okay. We're here today, even in the midst, because I've been allowed to be on a lot of movie sets. Actually have a new movie set that I'm going on in the morning at 7:15. So today is a day of preparation. But he asked us to be here, so we're here doing what it is that he has chosen, because I truly believe that God had him to choose me to be in this space to do this. And so, you know, I have to always be able and be ready to present myself when he comes calling. So just, you know, I just thank you.
I thank you. I thank all of you. And speaking about a voice, Ahmad, do you have Unhypnotized ready?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Let's go with that so we can hear that voice of I guess say just my daughter, one of my children. Let's hear that voice. And then I want to introduce her to Van and everyone.
Hello to those unhypnotized. Hello. Those unblind, uncompromised. To the few awake while the masses sleep. To those who cannot be flocked like sheep. To those with unscaled eyes. To those who clearly see the lies. Unable to be mesmerized. Who know that truth is uncivilized. And consciousness cannot be commercialized. Because it can't be verbalized. To those who will not apologize. To those who know where freedom lies. And that existence cannot be actualized. And insight doesn't see with eyes. To those who cannot be indoctrinated. In this world overpopulated with fear of independent thought, where they do not question lessons taught. Where game remains unrealized. Hello to those unhypnotized. I know your peace and your plight. To walk amongst the blind with sight. I wish I could go back to sleep. I wish I didn't know the things I know that my mind forces me to keep. I wish I could be like them and find the value in the dividend and blissfulness to live for the weekend. To believe in fairy tales and that submissive people win. And that the sky is filled with pies. But I am forced to realize, forced to remain awake, unhypnotized.
Ahmad.
Yes.
Ahmad. I hope folks don't mind, but can you run that again, please? I love hearing that. You don't mind, do you, Tonya?
No, thank you.
Yeah, run that again, please. Please.
Remark you.
Hello to those unhypnotized. Hello. Those unblind, uncompromised. To the few awake while the masses sleep. To those who cannot be flocked like sheep. To those with unscaled eyes. To those who clearly see the lies. Unable to be mesmerized. Who know that truth is uncivilized. And consciousness cannot be commercialized. Because it can't be verbalized. To those who will not apologize. To those who know where freedom lies, and that existence cannot be actualized, and insight doesn't see with eyes. To those who cannot be indoctrinated, in this world overpopulated with fear of independent thought, where they do not question lessons taught, where gain remains unrealized. Hello to those unhypnotized. I know your peace and your plight, to walk amongst the blind with sight. I wish I could go back to sleep. I wish I didn't know the things I know that my mind forces me to keep. I wish I could be like them and find the value in the dividend and blissfulness to live for the weekend. To believe in fairy tales and that submissive people win. And that the sky is filled with pies. But I am forced to realize, forced to remain awake, unhypnotized.
Tonya, did Paul put that together with you like that?
Paul did the music, yes.
You did? Is he around?
Yes.
Where you at, man?
He's in the studio.
All right, okay. When you take a break, tell him I need to see him. These are my wine dance people, folks. These are my wine dance people. And I'd like to formally introduce Tonya Grey-Thomas to all of you in the viewing audience, and to the host of the show, I Found My Voice, Van Miller.
Good afternoon, Tonya.
Good afternoon.
Yes, we had, we had a few moments to actually speak before the show. It was just absolutely amazing. I feel like I already know you and have known you for a long time. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you're about.
Okay, so it's broad for me. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I do playwright. I do spoken word. I'm an artist and a short story writer.
Mm-hmm. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about platform. We are a woman in 2020 where we build platforms so that we are able to really cross into a lot of spaces and places with people that we come in contact with. And that is one of the things that I loved. I sort of had an opportunity to, look at your website and to listen to Unhypnotized. This is it's an amazing piece. It's definitely a piece that I will definitely share to help push out for you. I love the name. Tell us about the name, because we have a connection with the name. Yes.
Well, I fell in love with Harriet Tubman when I was a little girl. And it's a combination of her name.
Yes. Harriet Tubman was a great woman. And we've actually went down to the museum ourselves and worked on a project for her 100th birthday where they built a collage. So when I saw your name connected to that, I was like, oh, wow, there's a true connection. And we have the church woman connection going on when it comes to that spiritual place, because truly Black women, especially, our connect when the world and everything is going wrong with us is the church. We tend to move in that space because we feel it's a safe place for us. And so I definitely feel that connect with you as well. And I saw that the Harriet Tubman in your name, it's a gift from God in Hebrew. Yeah. So, yes. So just, absolutely amazing. We did talk about, we feel that we are in that wilderness space, because so many people really just are out wandering around. I don't like to use the word trying, but wanting to figure out where it is their place is, because they truly don't understand what it is that they want to be doing. And listening to your piece is absolutely amazing. So many things that you touch on and you're speaking on. Tell us about Unhypnotized and why that piece.
Well, usually when I write, I don't start with the premise, but I do know that when I travel around and anywhere you go and you see our family, the family of people of color, oftentimes they're not aware, and the unawareness creates what I would define as hypnosis, and they follow the masses. And those of us who have been awakened, it can almost be difficult knowing the truth and then seeing your brother and sister in that state of hypnosis. And so it was driven from that.
Yeah.
And also there's the international pieces that we know that we're all connected, that, you know, despite the largeness that we feel of the African-American culture, that we have a large group of brothers and sisters in Brazil that we don't even, a lot of us aren't even aware of.
Yeah.
So I try to encompass all of that in that, even though it's not written or not spoken.
Yes. Yeah, I at the beginning of COVID, you know, I was like upstairs and looking out the window, and I said, what if this became our world? Would we be prepared if we were never allowed to go outside again? How many of us would really, really be prepared to live that kind of life? And so when I listen to your piece, it sort of says that only the people that have a mind set that they're free no matter what are going to be the people that are going to be able to move outside of that realm in life. This is really, really a hard space. So we talked about you're a mother of two beautiful women. They're not children, they're women. Tell us a little bit about that too, because I'm a part of a global movement, a mother-daughter global movement, where we are moving around the world, encompassing women from all aspects.
So my daughters, it kind of makes me giggle when someone identifies them as women, because they're very childlike. Although one is 30 and one is 25, they're very childlike and adorable. My oldest daughter is in law school; she's in her last year, and my youngest daughter is doing real estate in New York.
So I also saw that you have written some amazing pieces for the theater and stage. Can you tell our audience a little bit about that? I mean, it's absolutely amazing, just the parts that I had the time to touch on. So tell our audience this afternoon a little bit about that.
So I have a web series that I did. It's called Fulfillment. And one of my missions and one of my journeys is to, I have a very strong connection to my ancestors. And one of the issues that I often have is that when we refer back to, you know, the journey of Africans when they came here, that we talk about it like a story. And let's take COVID, for instance. COVID for us is a big deal, and we're spoiled. However, imagine the African who was in the belly of the slave ship. Imagine what they felt. Imagine what they lost. And so I feel a sense of responsibility to not bring them forth, not as a story, but as their person, as the person that they experience, they lost more than a job. They lost everything. And so often we're told to look past them to the greatness of Africa, which is very important, or to look forward. And we don't look at them. I'm not talking about the bondage. I'm talking about the person. So when I do my play, I become that person and change. I become that person who didn't just lose a job, who just wasn't told to wear a mask, who was somebody put chains on her and told her she couldn't speak her language. And so that play brings forth
Wow.
my
Truly the undefined you. That's one of the other things that it truly speaks to that space of I will not be held down no matter what, no matter where it is that I'm placed. I will not be a prisoner. And that I say that all the time. I will not be a prisoner to my past because it truly doesn't define who I am. And for you to be able as a one act artist to not only speak to that in a setting of a stage, but also in the music that you put forth for all of us to hear that you share. And then we also find that now you are actually drawing and expressing with what it is that you're doing as well. Tell us a little bit about that, because you know that is something that has to have been inside of you a number of years to be able to come out and actually express yourself through art in a drawing space.
Well, I didn't know I could draw, and I couldn't write. For some reason, I was having a writer's block, and I couldn't write. I couldn't do anything. I was in a very difficult time in my life, and anyone who's creative knows this, that I was suffering because my expression needed to come out. And I picked up a piece of paper and I started drawing. And then it just took on a life of its own. And although I still don't enjoy, I don't enjoy the drawing because it's not my right. I feel like I can express myself better in writing. However, when I feel overwhelmed, the drawing helps me to unload that need to express.
So that's definitely something that we have to look forward to, because you know, years from now, when your grandchildren come along and they look at it and say, oh, well, I didn't know that our grandmother was an artist. From that aspect, you know, they'll be able to you know, connect with that, because even myself, I'm like, in order that we get past our past, we have to have some form of getting it out of us.
Yeah.
Past can't be your past unless you talk about it or you speak about it. We as a race of people have so many family members that have left this earth with secrets. And secrets are the things that keep us, you know, in bondage a lot of times if we don't talk about it, because, oh, it's taboo. Oh, well, you know, grandma didn't want to hear that, you know, and those are the things. But, you know, then we say, oh, well, we pass all these things down, but the elders don't want to talk about it. And so we have to be able to get ourselves in a place where we can express our truths, whether it be in music, if we're on stage. For myself, it's in my creativity when it comes to designing. You know, we have to be able to do that, to survive in a climate that we are living in now, because truly, when 2020 comes, you will have to know and understand what is it that you have that's going to take you to that next place in your life, because stuck is not a good place to be. And so a lot of us are in that stuck situation. We don't know how we're going to get out. We're looking for this normal to come back to us and restart us where we already were. But that's not going to ever happen again. And so we have to understand, what is it that we're going to do in this next space in our lives that's going to take us to where it is that we're wanting to go. And so we have to become unhypnotized, like you're saying, in order to understand that. And we have to redefine ourselves to be able to even think about getting to that place. So, you know, I definitely thank you for what it is that you have given us. I know that you said that this was something that you did a long time ago, and for it to be in this day and this time in this period in our space is just absolutely amazing. Not only to me, but you know, when I feel like when other people hear this piece, they will, you know, sit back and they'll think about it as well. How it's like you already lived something that had not passed, but now it's coming to pass. If you understand what it is that I'm saying. So I just thank you, you know, today for just taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I definitely understand what that is like, and coming into our platform and sharing your life, and what it is that you're doing, your music, your art, and just being a beautiful Black woman in 2020, being able to speak to who you are. I just thank you so much.
Vanessa, can I jump in for a moment?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Listening to both of you, you know, Tonya, you mentioned Brazil. Normally our productions are coming out of Brazil with Amar. This production is coming out of Zurich, Switzerland. You mentioned Harriet Tubman. Before the collapse of the World Trade Center, for about 5 years, I was with one of my colleagues, and the project we were working on was the Harriet Tubman Humanitarian Award, to push forward to establish March 10th, which is her death date. They don't know what day she was born. And to establish the Harriet Tubman holiday. And then when they collapsed the World Trade Center, that took that off the table, because 9/11 became the holiday of remorse and sadness from those lives lost. And then listening to the conversation, I know that Raul was already thinking about a one-woman show. So I'm gonna pass it on to him for a moment and let him.
Yeah, you're reading my mind, and I'm just waiting for a moment to talk. Miss Tonya, oh my God, wow. Where have you been all my life? I am amazed. I didn't know where that piece came from, and that was my question. Where did this piece come from? And then now we have the pleasure of knowing where this piece came from. That's simply amazing. Wow, what a blessing to be in your presence. Have we met? And if we haven't, we definitely need to talk. I have a platform for you. I have a stage for you. I have a place for you to get that word out, because that word needs to be spoken. Wow. I can't wait to share with Emil. This is amazing. I would love to. I wanted to know what the website was. I got so much to say. I heard about the website, but what's the website? I want to look at the website.
When you're ready, do you want me to give it to you now?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
HARTUBZAI.com.
CAI?
Z as in zebra.
ZAI.
ZAN.
Yeah, I actually opened up my computer so that I can look this up. I was simply amazed by that compilation. That was very, very well put together. It was just missing one thing, and that was me. But I'm only kidding. I'm just
Also, we're going to produce. She's going to be one of our talk show hosts.
Okay. All right. I feel like I've met you somewhere, maybe not. You have
From
a
the Bronx,
familiar
I'm
face.
from Harlem. I live.
Okay, well then maybe we cross paths. There you go. Maybe we cross paths. But I got to tell you, you're very blessed. For not being a writer, your words come across very eloquent. For not being a person that's comfortable with writing, you definitely hit home. Every line was right on point. It felt real. I didn't know who wrote that. That was great. That was a great piece. I wish you could share it with me. I'd like to share that with the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Vanessa, what I'd like to do with both you and Tonya is have the two of you co-host the show together with some interviewing other women.
I would love to do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so think about that. And I'd like to have that produced out of Zurich, Switzerland, while Ahmad is there. Okay, so let's put that on the table.
Okay.
And the other thing,
Maybe we could even do a virtual Zoom at the theater. I'm sorry, a virtual streaming at the theater of a piece like that, where we could actually maybe raise some funds for a great cause and put it out there. Because I got to tell you, if you have more than that to put out there, it definitely needs to be shared. It's in the wrong place being hidden. I'm surprised I've never seen this before.
Yeah, that has to be put out there.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations to you, my sister.
Thank you.
and that production, when we do hers, that's going to be entitled Unhypnotized.
Well, she has me hypnotized right now. So I think you know, I think that we definitely are doing an injustice talking about it. We need to be about it and put it out there. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mark,
Yeah, Love Television Network. This is how us functions. Unscripted, unrehearsed, one take. Get it right the first time, because we ain't no do-overs.
Well, I think she knows that. If she's in theater, she knows that already. That's the beauty of theater. We only get to do it one time every night. There's no second takes. There's no third takes. There's no laziness. It's all about preparation. It's all about mentally being prepared. And every night is a different experience.
Right.
I love to hear about your play as well. I like to maybe you send me an NDA and send me your play so that Emil, the artistic director, my son, could read it, and possibly we could produce it at our theater.
Absolutely. I'd like to take us back for a moment. You've seen the opening screen with Van in the black dress, and you see that's a banner behind her that we developed, and that banner was part of an event that we did to unveil the banner, and there were some young people there. Mac 4, I'd like to, Ahmad, you got that ready?
Yes, sir.
This is an a cappella group. This was over at the Hoodwood Studios in Decatur at the unveiling of the Van Miller Talk Show host banner.
I don't want to waste no time. If I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. Cause girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Thank y'all so much. Love you.
Unrehearsed, unscripted, one take. That was the unveiling. And I had to drop that on Vanessa today because that was very special and touched her very deeply.
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much.
And that's the type of thing we're going to do for Tonya as well. We're going to do a banner. All our talk show hosts and artists get their own banner. So when you travel, you can
take that banner.
Okay. So this is the Jazz Lovers Television Network. It's a subscription-based stakeholder marketing Television Network. I'm gonna break that down because people in the conversation, there was some reflection on how to get through these times. Where's your revenue gonna come from that you've lost because of the construct the past 50 years? Everybody has a television subscription, and that's money going out. You get 500 channels, you're only watching 20. You're only watching 20 channels, you got 500, and it's $200 a month. Now, Jazz Lovers Television Network is subscription-based, just like the rest of them. Stakeholder marketing, which ain't like the rest of them. What does that mean? Well, first and foremost, we're looking at launching, and Raul has the platform that we're launching from. See, Raul, like he said, when we connected, we connected. He has the platform. What's it, 16 channels or 24?
I own 16 channels on Open Vision Network.
Okay, so we got our own 16 channel network, all right? Subscription-based stakeholder marketing, Jazz Lovers Television. Jazz Lovers is only gonna be 1 or 2, but we're gonna have the subscription is $9.95 a month for life. Well, how do you become a stakeholder? Well, you're watching our television network, you got people coming over, and you invite them, listen, why don't you subscribe? You get paid $2 commission for life per month. For life. When we launch, it goes up $12.95 for life, $3 commission for life. What does that do? That provides you with the revenue without even leaving your house. Sitting home, watching television, watching our productions, our myology. You're not going to see these conversations on mainstream media. And what you're also going to see is, oh, we're running out of time, we got to go for commercial break. And nobody said nothing today and ran out of time while they were saying it. Everyone has a chance to speak their voice. And that's why Van's title show, I Found My Voice, is so important. This is a platform for our people to express their voice. And as you see, I'm sitting here, I'm figuring out different shows we can do. Raul's figuring out different shows we can do just from this production. And that's what happens with people who are stakeholders. Now you have an opportunity to submit to this self-perpetuating, revenue-generating business model your production ideas. Once you reach 200 subscribers as stakeholders in your legacy, you construct a legacy, a financial legacy with our network. As this grows, I'm gonna tell you something else I've been thinking about that this is gonna happen. We're gonna build in health insurance for all our viewers. We're gonna build it in. We don't need stockholders because we got stakeholders. And our stakeholders, everybody in this network is making money from watching television, and you can grow your production ideas. Once you submit a production concept, that's your first level. The second level, if it's evaluated and accepted, now we got some producers here. We got a former vice president of BET, Phil G, on the line. We got Michael Redmond, he's incognito, he's in the room. His dad has a whole myology, a whole chronology of music that his dad produced and wrote. So there are people on this platform itself that can get things done. Raul's got a bunch of television producing equipment, movie producing equipment. We're getting ready to take a convoy of boats across the Atlantic Ocean, 5 ships, to go into the Gambia to do a spiritual return of the ancestors of the Neteru. So as Van is talking about, where can people go for a haven for a haven. See this whole COVID construct? The most important thing in this construct is to maintain your peace of mind. Because this thing is designed to drive you crazy, especially with that fool in the White House. So I just wanted to share that and open the floor up for comments. And I'm not trying to dominate your show, Fran. I just want to get the message out about the network, so as people continue to view our productions, they themselves can begin to enunciate what the self-perpetuating, revenue-generating platform of the Jazz Lovers Television Network is designed to do. So that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, this is definitive amongst our people. Thank you.
So Tonya, can you share with our audience your social media platforms so that they can reach out to you and listen, as we've listened today, to your amazing pieces that you have available?
I have a YouTube channel, and it's also under the name Hartubzani, HARTUBZANI. If you put that in the search in YouTube, you can pull that up.
Okay.
That in my website.
Makakuvu, how can we reach out to you?
World Media Coalition at outlook.com. And we have the World Media Coalition website. And you can find me on Alignable and put your information in so we can reach out to you. We're going to be starting a subscription drive at the beginning of the year, because our target date for launching is at the in June, because we want to get some more content, some original content, and do some stuff out of the theater in the square as well. Moving forward, one of my sons has a movie script that he's done a short for in a couple of film festivals entitled Evolution, and it's a comedic type of storyline. So we're looking at producing that as a movie, full-length movie. I have a couple of productions I want to do in terms of movies about Robert Small, who was a Civil War soldier who captured a Confederate ship and took it to the Union Army. They gave him $40,000. I had the opportunity of being one of the martial arts partners of one of his ancestors, Brother Stewart, Jonathan Stewart. And I actually had the opportunity of interviewing him before he passed away about Robert Smalls. I have that production I want to do. So there are a lot of things that we can do. So that's World Media Coalition at outlook.com. You can also reach me at Makakuvu Ali El-bey at yahoo.com. World Media Coalition website, World Media Coalition on Alignable.
Wow. Raul, tell us a little bit about how we can reach you and talk with you and get our projects in front of you in the beautiful space that you have there in Marietta, Georgia.
Well, first, let me tell you, that sexy picture behind you is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You could reach me at, I'm going to give you my personal number because this feels like a personal phone call. 678-270-7272. My email, my personal email is RT, the letter R, Raul, the letter T, Thomas, hospitalitygroup@gmail.com. That's RT hospitalitygroup@gmail.com. For those that want to look us up, we're at theaterinthesquare.net. That's theater, RE, inthesquare.net. What I offer and what I have is, obviously, we know about the theater. I own Rec Squad Atlanta, which is a filming production company where we do movies and shorts and things of that sort. And as well as a production company, I'm a chef, 30 years in the business. I own a restaurant, and I own a food truck, and I'm a chef by trade, as well as I have several network stations on Open Vision Network. I own the Latino stations at Open Network, and it's here all for us. It's for us to continue to collaborate. It's for us to continue to make things happen. You know, I believe in humanity, and I believe that the only way humanity moves forward is if we collaborate together. So send me your projects, send me your stuff. Let's put it up. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I just said Udamakiur.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to,
Yes.
before we in the production, Ahmad, he has a project in Brazil, Cordeiro de Luz. You want to show those two promotional videos on the project, and Van, you can talk to him about that before
Okay.
it goes out.
Okay. Bring that up. I may not be able to show the update video because I think that's where we've been getting the copyright claims coming off of, because it's a Santana video.
Okay.
But I'll show the intro video to my project, Guerreros de Luz, the World Peace Initiative.
What if we took these kids and these kids and let them interact together? What if we did that with kids from all over the world? I think we can make the world a better place. Guerreros de Luz is an organization that wants to do exactly that. This organization, the idea for this organization started in 1998 when I was asked to represent the United States in a capoeira tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. While I was there, I met a group of 6 kids who were homeless and living on the streets. Once they met me, they were stuck at my side, always asking questions and always happy. This really changed my life. Ever since then, I've dedicated my life to try and make this experience somebody else's experience as well. What we plan to do at Guerreros de Luz is take kids from New York, LA, Africa, Japan, all over the world, and bring them in small groups of kids to interact with other groups of kids. The headquarters is going to be on Morro de Sao Paulo, Brazil. Morro de Sao Paulo is a little island off the coast of Bahia. It's full of nature, not a whole lot of media influence. It's a great place for kids to be kids, interact with life and each other. This fundraiser is to raise money with your contributions to build the headquarters, the world headquarters on Morro de Sao Paulo. This past summer, we were donated a plot of land on the island that has already been cleared to build this cultural center. Now it's time to take the next step and actually start the building process. We have a team of people that are working with us. We have architects, we have engineers, we have teachers, and if you put all of our experience together working with kids, we have over 60 years of experience. This is a great project. It's a world unity project, and it's something that we can all get together and help and share and do our part to change the planet, to change the world, because the children are the future, and we need to do something to make sure that they have a future to take care of.
Wow. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's
Ahmad, this is Phil. Let me just
Hey,
jump in here real quick and say that you are some amazing new people that I have met. As it goes back, just for the record, I've been in Atlanta for over 40 years. So that's 20 years longer than both of you other guys to see the development of the Marietta Square when they did not want Black folks to come up that far. Matter of fact, you were taking your risk in your hands when you went past the Big Chicken, if anybody knows where that is.
Yes. Yes.
So I salute you, Raul, in terms of what you've been able to do in the square. And I probably would not be in Atlanta if it wasn't for Makakuvu. I'll let him tell the story, but I've known him over 50 years, as well as his son since he was born. So congratulations to all of you. If there's anything that I can do, Makakuvu knows how to get in touch with me for sure. And every time there's been something that he's needed to do or get recorded, I would like to think that I've been there when I could. So all of you have a good day, and I look forward to the next time I can see all you guys on Zoom, I guess.
Thank you.
No problem. What am I? It's always good to see you, Uncle Phil. I can't wait till I can get back out there, man. We need to train some more.
Yeah, we got to do that, boy.
Yeah, that's a story that G was one of my first martial arts instructors. One of my first martial arts at Albany State University in 1968. And back then, y'all know what was going on. That was the height of the unrest of that generation, very similar to the height of the unrest of this generation. And the reality of that is this: Black folks ain't went nowhere. Ain't went nowhere. All that we shall overcome, we ain't overcome shit, excuse the expression. It's got worse. Now they making movies of us with knees on our neck. So ain't nothing changed. Only thing that's changed is the gray hair on Phil's head. Cause you see my head, so the reality.
I've been since 68, Makakuvu. That's what I keep telling folks.
For real. Real. Be not confused. Matter of fact, let me tell you how ready we are. And Tonya can attest to this. Paul can attest to this. In Wyandanch, 1968, my partners and I, Joe Horton, Carl Clark, who passed away, and Bruce Bradley, established Wyandanch Day. Wyandanch Day. Wyandanch Recognition and Family Day. They've been holding that ever since, and that was not designed to bring the community together. We designed that to keep our Black belts in school because we was doing so much with the movement that they wanted to kick us out of high school. As it was, they kicked me out of high school 5 days before graduation anyway. But the Wyandanch Day project was designed in order to keep us in high school long enough to graduate, because our activity, and the background on that is this. See, back then, Black folks was, we shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome. Wyandanch was the reverse. They were trying to integrate high schools through desegregation back then. Okay, that was the movement, to desegregate the segregated communities in the school districts. The problem with Wyandanch was this: from 1933, when they built the elementary school, to present 1963, Wyandanch did not have a high school or junior high school. So all high school and junior high school age children had to be bussed out already until 1963. 1963, they built Wyandanch Junior Senior High School. 1967, so now 4 years, 63 to 67, Wyandanch got a high school. So, you know, we was happy. We ain't got to go with them white folks no more. Okay, I never went anywhere, because by the time I got to high school, the junior high school and the high school was built when I was in 6th grade. So anyway, here come the NAACP handkerchief heads. Yeah, I said it. Here they come. They want to, check this out. They want to start busting us out. So our movement was like, no, we formed Black Youth Awareness Committee. And that's why when I saw Tonya and Paul about 4 years ago, 40 years after we started Wine Dance Day, they finally honored us as founding fathers. 40 years. So anyway, now Wine Dance had a high school. NAACP wanted to come in, dissolve the high school, and start busing us out. Our organization, Black Youth Awareness Committee, opposed that. And that was our struggle. It wasn't to desegregate. So what happened was they kicked me out of high school, but I had applied to go to 5 different colleges. 5 different colleges. I got rejected by all 5. Now I'm like, I'm kind of slow, but I ain't that stupid to get rejected by 5 colleges. So one of our people calls me and says, Makakuvu, you got to come to the school and see this paperwork. The assistant principal and the guidance counselor had messed up my transcript, so all the colleges I applied to rejected me. All of them. So now here it is, June, I get kicked out of high school because we had a riot, and they said I started the riot, but no, I didn't start the riot. I kept it going. I didn't start it. The riot was started because the brother had a fight, and he was broken up from fighting. He get mad, and he hit the teacher with a chair. So now here comes the assistant principal and that particular teacher. I'm not calling no names, but those who know, back then they knew who I'm talking about. So they walking up the brother to the office, and the assistant principal and principal and the guidance counselor, the business teacher, start beating the brother up. So everybody come to me, say, yo, man, what we gonna do? Because I was the head of BYAC, click. And that's how I met Phil. So they come to me, I said, yo, we gotta keep him, gotta get him out of here. So when they got him out of there, the next time I come to school the next day, here come these guys with baseball bats and knives, and they start collecting the brothers like they always do and take them in the office. And I go to the office, and my man comes in, Erwin Quintine, who used to be the head of the Suffolk County Corps. We go in, they let the other guys go. The superintendent tells me they expelling me from school. Quintine said, no, you're not. If you expel him, you got a bigger problem. You're gonna have a Black organization picking in the Black high school. So they compromised, told me I had to leave, don't say nothing. So anyway, I found out they were messing with my transcript. I got rejected. I called my people in Upward Bound at Hofstra University. They sent me to Albany State. And I went to Albany State, I ran into G, and we've been friends ever since.
Well, you didn't have to go back that far, Makakuvu, but
The backstory, man.
that was. I thought you was gonna pick it up from the time we came to Atlanta, but that's okay.
No, I had to
it's your story. You're sticking with it, brother. That's okay. Raul, I look to meet you, Tony and Vanessa. Ahmad, I'll see you on the floor somewhere. But go on, Michael.
Yes. Well, it has definitely been a great afternoon with us here on the Van Miller Talk Show. I found my voice. Our guests have been absolutely amazing. And we know and understand that there are greater works ahead for all of us, whether we are here in the States or we are away, that we know what it is that we're doing and where it is that we are going and what God has predestined in all of our lives. So we would like to thank each and every one that has taken the time to join us here on the show today. And we look forward to seeing and hearing from you all on our next destination. We'll see you soon again. I found my voice. Have a great, great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. That was Jazz Lovers Television Network. We're gonna take y'all out. And I'm unhypnotize you while we take you out.
Hello to those unhypnotized, those unblind, uncompromised, to the few awake while the masses sleep, to those who cannot be flocked like sheep, to those with unscaled eyes, to those who clearly see the lies, unable to be mesmerized, who know that truth is uncivilized, and consciousness cannot be commercialized because it can't be verbalized, to those who will not apologize, to those who know where freedom lies, and that existence cannot be actualized, and insight doesn't see with eyes, to those who cannot be indoctrinated in this world overpopulated with fear of independent thought, where they do not question lessons taught, where gain remains unrealized. Hello to those unhypnotized. I know your peace and your plight, to walk amongst the blind with sight. I wish I could go back to sleep. I wish I didn't know the things I know that my mind forces me to keep. I wish I could be like them and find the value in the dividend and blissfulness to live for the weekend, to believe in fairy tales and that submissive people win, and that the sky is filled with pies. But I am forced to realize, forced to remain awake, unhypnotized.
Dua nature. Everybody have a great evening or great morning or great afternoon wherever you are. Peace and blessings.